Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back once again to my channel. This is the Soul Leader. My name is Soul Leader. Um, I wanted to give a quote that came from Parker Palmer. This is not my these are not my words, but I'm going to give a little insight on what I got from reading it. So Parker Palmer says, before you tell your life what you intend to do with it, listen to what your life intends to do to you. And the word intends, when I read intends, is more of like going inward. It's like, for instance, with me, I had plans to be this to like be this stylist, right? And get up to the point where I'm doing celebrities' hair. And this was before I had kids. I had dreams of being a traveling stylist. I seen myself having a household name. I know what that vision was, right? So, all while that was going on, the things that I manifested back in 2008, they manifested in 2010. And they manifested at a time in a year where my grandfather passed on my birthday in 2010. And in 2008, my grandmother passed away. And her and my uncle passed away a week apart. So it was like a lot of the income went. Everybody had to start fending for themselves, right? And during that time, I had, before they were already, the Lord was preparing to take them away. I had already started manifesting, and I didn't know how powerful manifestation is. So, and shout out to my older sister who told me to write out what I wanted to do, because I used to always talk to her about it, and she was like, just write it down. And ever since, whenever I want to really do things, I write it down. And I pray over it too. And so anyway, long story short, 2010 all the way into 2011, I was on my path, right? But in spite of that, a little shiny bow came in front of my face, and let's just say, like, I was being met with it felt like I was being attacked because so many things was going wrong, whether it was getting into fights and arguments with people, whether it was being told to get out and put out, whether being homeless for a whole week, stuff like that, right? People talking bad on me, people hating on me, people telling me who I should date and who I shouldn't. And it wasn't those people who was protecting me. It was God trying to warn me through people. And before I even got in the position I was in, like I said before, there were warning signs trying to prepare me and let me know the decision I was about to make. The Lord knew I was going to make that decision, but he knew he was going to get the glory in it. And when I made that decision, it went from being something good to something bad. And it turned into years and years of going through that, right? And even while going through that, my intent was never to get in a relationship. My intent was never to even get in what I got in. My intent was to just soar and leave my family and everybody behind and follow my dreams finally, because I felt like I was being held back by certain people. I was not even necessarily just them. I was holding myself back, believing that they were holding me back, because they really wasn't. It was more so my fear of leaving my mom and my sister and not knowing what would happen to them. That was what I was afraid of, leaving my mom and my sister. So the moment that I stopped even caring, because I knew that my sister, once the moment I knew that my sister was fine and that my mom can fend for herself, I was willing to reach back if I could. But I so happened was seeing something, and I just thought that the Lord was just blessing me with everything that I asked for. But it was that one thing that I wasn't supposed to have in the moment. I was rushing it. And when I made that choice, for every choice, whether it's good or bad, there's a consequence, right? And I made a choice. So the consequence meant that I had to suffer for a while. And I used to look at what I went through as a bad thing. It wasn't a bad thing. It wasn't a bad thing. It brought me to this space now to even make this video. And when I went through those bad things, even though I was going through bad things, I still was persevering. I was still out getting jobs and getting the money I needed, being able to handle the house and take care of things and hold down things. It was like for a long time, all my life, I always had to be kind of masculine, and that intent. And one thing I experienced even with dealing with a lot of guys, like they would be intimidated, right? Intimidated by me because I didn't necessarily I don't need, it's more of a want, but sometimes I want to be able to be taken care of and be soft, but a lot of things and a lot of experience made things hard for me, and so when I read, before you tell your life what you intend to do with it, listen to what your life intend to do with you. What I see in my life and what God intended for me was for me to get closer to him, for me to keep my eyelids forward, for me to pursue and do all of those things that I aspired to do, because the things that I aspired to do weren't bad things. The things I had intended and wrote down was not just for myself. The Lord had given me vision of what he wanted me to do, because it was still all into something I wanted to do, all while he gets the glory and we open doors for other people. That is my whole intent in trying to create a community of people with having a safe space, because I didn't have that. So I want many of you to have that by coming on this channel, listening to me. I'm bearing my heart. Not necessarily telling all my business, but I'm giving you highlights of my life where I can share with you as an example of any scripture I might share, as an example of any, whatever the title of the video may be at the time. And I only make videos when it's on my heart, or when the Lord be like, hey, go tell them this. It don't be in a way like, of me, like, like most people get online and just make up all this stuff and have all these followers unnecessarily for the wrong reasons. That's not what this is for. All this page is about is healing, self-love, self-care, unconditional love, safe space, safe haven, a place where God can flourish, a place where we can all come together. The Lord intended to me to use this voice. I've been told a lot, oh, you talk too much. From haters. Only from a hater. It's a rare thing. But what I learned about the fact that I talk a lot is the fact that I love to talk, and not just to hear myself talk. My conversation is always intellectual and always helpful. When you come around me, you always leave with a message. When you come in my presence, you will always learn something, because I learn things from other people. Sometimes I feel like the spirit of my grandmother lives in me, mostly because she planted those seeds in me, and she planted the seeds in many of her grandchildren and children. And I pray that many of her grandchildren and family get on the right path, and that they do live up to our name, and not just because it's a name. I'm talking about the name in the Lord. And and I didn't even write anything about this at all. I just was talking to God about it, and I was flipping through some pages, and I seen something that caught my eye, so that's why I brought this up. You gotta stop making plans for your life, because I had made plans for my life, right? Like as if it's just my own. And the plans, sometimes when I would try to do things on my own, it would fail. So now before I do things, I always take it to God now. Like, hey, should I do this? Should I do that? Because a lot of times I didn't used to do that, and things used to fail. The same way as if I had took it to God whether I should have gotten a relationship or not, he would have told me if I shouldn't, because he was already telling me ahead of time not to get in one. Because it wasn't because of the person itself, just let me say. It's more so because of what I was doing. And while I was in it, and when things were bad, I started to really see things. I started to notice like let me see what I want to say. I started to notice that it wasn't what I signed up for, but I did sign up for it because I went in it blinded. Just benefit of the doubt. You shouldn't doubt people. You shouldn't think people wouldn't do this and that. You always think somebody wouldn't do this and do that, and that's not true. They will do what you think they won't do. I'm here to tell you that so many people have shown me who they really are, and I always show who I really am. You see, if I'm going to be upset, I don't hide anything about myself because I know who I am. And I'm not afraid of my feelings. I'm not afraid of where I come from. I'm not afraid of where I'm going, and I'm not afraid of where I am. It's like 2 months ago, I was 3, it's almost 3. I think this month make 3. It was hard for me to make these videos. I was just so worried about what people was going to say and the judgment, what might come up about me. But guess what? Even on Facebook, things still come up. And I look back at how I used to be compared to how I am. It's like just knowing that God been moving in my life the whole time is beautiful. I was born into darkness. I was born into a very violent family. I was born into a family where people didn't love each other. I mean, they did, but they didn't know how to show it. When I think about my entire childhood not having food, lights being off, all kinds of things. And I think about the things the Lord would speak to me at the time. When fights would break out and I'm just sitting there just, stop. Or even having to break it up when I finally got a little older and it just ticked me off that people want to fight. And then there was the times when I had to physically fight to defend myself. I didn't start fights. I always had to defend myself. And a lot of it was from men. I never wanted to tell these things. But these things need to be known because there's so many of you that's in broken families. And a lot of it is not that our families just want it to be broken. It's generational curses. You have to break that. And that's one thing I always disliked about my family. Like, people like talking about each other or thinking they better than each other or only uplifting this one and putting the other one down. And that's not fair. I feel like we all are great, and we shouldn't. It's okay to have a favorite person, but it's not okay when you only pay attention to certain people and you down others just so you can feel better about your situation. That's not cool. So I always been okay with stepping away from family and friends and stuff. I like being alone. Because by me being alone, I was able to know myself in a way so that nobody else can tell me about me. People try to tell me about myself. I just laugh at them like, okay, you think you know me, but my God knows me. Only my God can judge me. So if somebody say this and that about me, it don't move me. It don't hurt me. You can't break anything that cannot be broken. You can't break something that don't even need to be fixed. I think about all of these things, breaking a curse, because I was taught to stay in stuff when it was bad and I broke that curse. I'm not staying in no bad situation. I don't care how long it took me to get out, but I got out of it. Sometimes people would do things to try to break you, and now that I realized that somebody was trying to break me, somebody was trying to make me feel like I need to strive to be better when I already was what they was trying to force me to be. I had to go back to my old writings to see that I'm not crazy. I even remember when I knew something was up. My intuition was on point, but I couldn't figure it out. Like, I couldn't understand, why am I still here and I don't want to be here? That's why I said you got to be careful of the things that people do and wish on you, because people don't have to be mixing up no potions to do no black magic on you. I remember them days when I was on the internet searching for stuff and narcissists came up, soul ties came up, all these things. And so I started looking into it. And that's when I realized that was what I was dealing with. And so somebody seen that I knew and I caught on. So they did things to make me stay. I hate saying this. I don't even want to tell, because I'm pretty sure somebody gonna see this one day. If they feel embarrassed, that's on them. That's why I don't say any names. Because it's a part of my story and my truth. Everything I say is not necessarily about my relationship. Everything I'm telling you is about my entire life, things that I've been through and experienced. it's just like the relationship was a catalyst to me getting into this space, to me getting my hair locked and just going within, to me wanting to do things naturally, to me wanting to, it's a lot that I can say. But let me stay on topic. That's why I write stuff down so I won't go off topic. You know, and I've been on to it the whole time, to the moment that I finally woke up. And so I had to endure that pain to really realize the truth behind it all. You know, it ain't no coming back from that. You know, like, you really tried to ruin me. You and a bunch of other people. For what? What did I do to y'all? Y'all don't even, nobody took the time to get to know me. Those who really know me don't do things to hurt me. You know? People who really love me will be here. You know? But I love me. God loves me. That's all I need. My children love me. You know? It's like, the beauty in it all, the beauty when I look back and what I intended for myself, is that what the Lord intends is to give back, to heal, to help people love and get back to a place where we're supposed to be. Like, for instance, like even in my city, they gave everybody recycling bins, and so now I'm recycling and I feel better about things than me just throwing everything in the trash. At least I can say that, hey, I'm giving back to the earth in that way. You know, I was putting myself down thinking that I couldn't do anything, and this is what the Lord gave me. He gave me the gift of gab. You know, he gave me the gift. He gave me this big mouth, this loud voice that some people don't like for a reason, so that I could be the voice for y'all. Shoot, I've been the voice for myself. Now it's time to be the voice for other people, those who don't have that strength yet. So I'm trying to help you build it. I'm trying to help you heal yourself and stop always thinking you got to run to your mother, your father, and all these other people who may not really be there for you, who may not really be who you should be looking forward to when you're in a crisis. You know, trying to teach you to heal yourself. So I'm going to leave this on that note. Beautiful souls, until the next video. My baby is awake and I don't want him to fall off the bed. So till next time.